friends, welcome to our virtual chair yoga class. I am so excited to be here with you. I'm even more excited that you guys are keeping up with your practice even though I am on maternity leave for a little while. This will basically be one of our standard Thursday chair yoga classes that are usually hosted at the Marathon Health Center in Marathon, Texas. I hope you guys are there. I hope you're together and practicing, and I cannot wait to get back into the rooms with you. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are not part of our normal Thursday chair yoga class, I welcome you. My name is Bailey, and I will be your guide today through some movements to help maintain mobility and strength and flexibility. We'll use a yoga blanket, a block, and a mat. You're welcome to swap out and substitute. You can layer mats or blankets to make the surface on the ground a little thicker if you'd like. Feel free to pause this if you need to go collect some props for yoga, and whenever you're ready, just come on right back. Okay, so we're ready to get started with our yoga practice today. Just a gentle reminder, I am here to offer suggestions and invitations into these poses, stretches, and shapes. Each one of our bodies can make the same shape, and we'll feel it just slightly differently depending on where we're tight, where we've had injuries, if we had surgeries in the past, and just generally what our basic movement patterns throughout our life and days are. So I'm less concerned with what the pose looks like, and I'm a lot more interested in, are you getting a stretch that feels good? Is this movement one that's working for your body specifically? So I try to offer variations and modifications. Feel free to try them or not, but our yoga practice should never be painful. If we get to a place where we're feeling pain, that's the body letting us know, hey, stop, we're gonna have an injury soon. So I ask you to please honor your body, listen to those cues, and if you get to a place where something doesn't feel good, come right out of it. You can come back into a seat in the chair, you can modify some other way that feels better for your body, you can have a seat on the floor, whatever you need to do. This is your practice, your body, for you, okay? All right, we'll go ahead and get started. I'm sitting in my chair. I'm gonna scooch a little bit away from the back of the chair so that I can start using my muscles on the core, my obliques on the side, and my back muscles to hold myself upright. If you need to scooch back, you can, but try to keep the shoulders stacked over the hips as opposed to really rounding here. On a side note, I am very pregnant, so my movements may look a little bit different from yours, and they may look a little different from what I'm verbally cueing, which is just because some of my movements are a little limited right now. But try to listen to the verbal instruction and do what feels right for your body today. I'm gonna set up my heels right under the knees so the knees are supported. I'm gonna lift the toes, spread the toes, plant them, and then I'm gonna lift the heels, and I'm gonna do 3 heel drops. 1, 2, 3. And that's just to connect the feet and the brain. As I feel that sensation of the heels hitting the floor, it connects brain and feet. Knees are supported, hips are in the chair, nice and stable. I'm gonna sit up, shoulders over the hips. I'm making sure not to arch and not to round, but imagine you're sitting flat up against a wall. Roll the shoulders down, maybe the hands rest on the thighs or in the lap, and reach the crown of the head up a little taller, like someone tugs on a string attached to the top of the head. We make a little imaginary space between each vertebra. I invite you to close the eyes here and begin to bring your awareness to your breath, breathing in and out through the nose, just feeling that rise and fall of breath in the body. Maybe we notice the belly expand or the heart space lift a little as we breathe in. Maybe on the exhale, we notice the shoulders drop or the navel draw in. And this is just our time to get centered, to get focused, to get present in the body right here, where we'll be for about the next hour. And whenever you feel ready, I invite you to open the eyes, sit up nice and tall, have a big, full, deep breath in. And as we exhale, tuck the chin towards the chest. Keeping the shoulders stacked over the hips, we're looking for a lengthening sensation from between the shoulders all the way up through the very top of the neck. your next inhale, gently roll the left ear to the left shoulder. We're gonna let the right side stay heavy. You can even hang that right arm. Imagine you're holding a little weight and that right shoulder drops down away from the right ear. Big breath in as we exhale, chin comes back to chest, back to center. We have a breath here, and on the inhale, we roll the right ear to the right shoulder. Roll the left shoulder down, hand can stay on the lap, or you can let it hang, and that shoulder just starts to melt down away from the left ear, giving us a gentle little stretch on the left side of the neck. As you're ready, on an exhale, chin comes back to center, and I'm going to do one breath per movement. Inhale left. Exhale center. Inhale right. Exhale center. Move with your breath. Don't worry so much about coordinating the breath and the movement. It comes with more practice. Just take the movement slowly. If you want to deepen the movement, you can tuck the chin up, and it kind of wraps the stretch around the neck a little more. You can also drop the opposite shoulder down, actively pushing the shoulder down using the strength of your muscles. Let's do one more each side, and we'll end with the right ear over the right shoulder. And exhale back to center. I will meet you here. Roll the shoulders down. Inhale the crown of the head up, sitting up nice and tall, finding your neutral neck. Beautiful. Rolling the shoulders down, I'm going to float the arms up and out. I'm going to reach the left and reach the right. If the shoulders have drawn up, relax them down away from the ears. I'm going to spread the hands wide, and imagine we're pressing into stacks of like books or boxes, so we're active in the arms here. Again, I'm being mindful not to arch and press the belly forward, but keep the spine neutral as though I'm sitting flat up against a wall. When you're ready, rotate the palms up, reach up. Maybe we make a big V shape. You can look up if that feels good. If that's hurting the neck, just keep the neck neutral, staring forward. As we exhale, spin the palms away from each other, hands by the sides, chin can follow. Inhale up. Exhale, open. One more. We're going to inhale the arms up on this next one and then pause for just a moment. And as we exhale, I'm going to rotate my upper body to the right, keeping the arms up, starting to feel this stretch and this activation in the obliques. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Pause here. Bring your right elbow to the back of the chair. Bring your left hand across and down, and it finds the outside of the right leg. I'm going to press the knee into the hand and the hand into the knee, so I'm not knocking the knees in, and that'll help me keep the chest nice and open as I rotate right and look over my right shoulder. Leaving the left hand where it is, I'm going to untwist, bring my right hand across, so my right arm is crossed on top. Big breath in, and on the exhale, I'm gonna round, tuck the chin towards the chest, drop the shoulders away from the ears. I'm looking for that stretch up the back, like a little candy cane. As you breathe in, bring your awareness to the back of the shoulders and imagine like expanding that space. Slowly roll back up, coming back to center. Roll the shoulders down. Float the arms up and out. Reach left, reach right. Shoulders drop down away from the ears. Spread the fingers. Imagine you're pressing down. Feel the strength of your core holding up the upper body here. Feel all your supports, front, back, left, and right. Rotate the palms up, reach up, big breath in. Exhale, open. Two more. And then on this next one, we'll pause when the arms come up. And this time as we exhale, I'm gonna rotate left. Inhale forward. Exhale left. Last one. Pause for just a moment as we're turned left. Bring the left elbow to the back of the chair. The right hand finds the outside of the left knee and we press hand to knee, knee to hand, so that we're not knocking the knees in. Big breath in, we get even taller. On the exhale, look back over your left side. 3 breaths here. And then I'm gonna untwist. This time the left arm is on top. It comes over to the right knee. Fill all the way up. As we exhale, round the spine, chin to chest, rock the shoulders, breathe into the back of the shoulders and find more space back there. Slowly sitting up, uncross the arms. Beautiful. We're gonna keep moving down the body. We've done a little bit of oblique work, a little bit of getting the circulation moving with the arms. We should be a little bit warmed up for the upper body. I wanna go ahead and get the low body. So moving into the hips, into the low body, I'm gonna lift the toes, spread the toes and plant them. Lift the heels, let them drop again. I'm going to actively press my left foot down like I wanna press through the mat. So that activates the quad here, the quadriceps on the left leg. So I'm pressing the left foot down. I'm gonna take my hands to my hips. Big breath in, lift the right. So the left foot presses down as the right foot lifts. Hold, breathe. Big breath in as we exhale, right foot forward. Hold and breathe. You let your core do the work here. Big breath in. On the exhale, I'm gonna bend and I'm gonna hold either behind the right thigh or on the front of the right knee. Sometimes putting pressure on the front of the shin here squeezes the knee into a fully open position and that's painful. So if you feel any pain there, hold behind the thigh. Also, if you have a yoga strap and you wanna lengthen your grip, you can take a strap behind the leg and that way you don't have to have it quite so close in. I'm gonna hold the front of the knee. Roll the shoulders down, sit up tall, and draw your right knee towards your right armpit, like you were just gonna tuck it under your arm. We're working on some hip mobility here. Just hold and breathe. We're pressing that left foot down, and we're gonna draw circles with the right ankle. When you're ready, switch directions. And then relax that foot. I'm gonna flex and spread the toes as far away from each other as I can. And then I'm gonna point, curl the toes. I'm gonna flex, spread them wide, and point. One more. Flex, toes wide, point and curl. Beautiful, okay. I'm gonna take one hand only, my right hand to the right leg. I'm again either holding the knee or behind the thigh, whatever feels better for you. We'll take the left hand to the left hip, sitting up tall. I'm gonna let my leg do as much of the work here as I can. So imagine that if you let go of the leg, it's not gonna fall. Big breath in. On the exhale, we're gonna squeeze to open. Inhale forward, 2, 3, 4, 5, last one, 6. Bring the knee forward. I'm gonna cross the right ankle over the left thigh. I'm gonna walk the left foot in so that the knee is supported. I'm flexing the right foot, and I'm gonna just sit here for a moment and let this shape get adjusted. You might be feeling something in the right hip. You might be feeling it on the outside of the thigh or the back of the thigh. Anywhere you want to put this hand is fine as long as we're not pressing down. You can support, you can rest the hand on the hip, hand can hang by your side, but do not press down on the knee. When you're ready, I'm going to take my hand to my right hip. That works for me. I'm going to keep the left hand on the right foot, holding here. Big breath in, sit up tall, and on the exhale, hinge forward. Imagine closing like a drawbridge, straight forward instead of rounding back here, hinging from the hips and leading with the chest. Lengthen on your inhale from the tailbone all the way to the crown of the head. Soften on the exhale, forward and down, even if you don't move. Soften something, maybe it's the forehead, the eyes, unclenching the jaw. Breathe here. Slowly inhale back up. I'm going to cross the right knee on top of the left. Inhale the arms up, squeeze the legs together. And on the exhale, rotate right. Right elbow to the back of the chair, left hand comes to the right knee again. Slightly deeper twist, a little different here, looking over the right side. Slowly untwist, uncross. Adjust your positioning if you need to. Ankles and the heels support the knees. I'm sitting away from the back of the chair, shoulders over the hips. Spread the toes, lift the toes, plant them, lift the heels, heel drop. I'm gonna press the right foot down like I'm trying to push through the mat, turning on the quadriceps on the right. I'm gonna take my hands to my hips, roll the shoulders down, inhale, lift the left foot, hold here. If you want more of a challenge, you can lean slightly back without rounding or arching. Very important that we're hinging from the hips and keeping the spine straight. This brings the abs in on the movement. It's hard to see when I'm facing forward, but if you're away from the back of the chair, you can lean back. Big breath in on the exhale, extend the left foot forward. Sorry, I've been walking around barefoot all day. Big breath in on the exhale, bend and hold, either behind the thigh or on the front of the knee. Draw the left knee in towards the left armpit. We're working on this mobility, this range of motion in the hips, and we'll hold here. Right foot is pressing down. Draw some circles with the left ankle. When you're ready, other way. Let that foot relax, and we're gonna flex, spread the toes, and point and curl. 2 more. Last one. Let that ankle hang loose. We're gonna hold one hand, left hand on the knee or behind the thigh. You can take the right hand to the hip, sit up tall, pressing the right foot down. Be as light as you can, light as a feather in that left leg. I'm not letting the arm do the work here. I'm letting my lower body do the work. Big breath in, exhale, open. Last one. Inhale forward and cross, left ankle over right thigh. I'm gonna scooch the right foot in so the knee stays supported by the ankle. I'm holding the left foot and I'll take my left hand to my left hip. Hanging out here for a few breaths, letting the body adjust to this new shape. Big breath in. On the exhale, we hinge from the hips forward, lengthening the spine, softening forward on the exhale. Slowly inhale back up. I'm gonna cross that left knee on top of the right, squeezing the legs together. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, rotate left. Left elbow finds the back of the chair, right hand comes to the left knee. Look over your left side. Slowly untwist and uncross. Beautiful. All right, if you guys feel decently warmed up, we're gonna stand behind the chair and do a few more stretches and then come into a little bit of balance and some strength work. If you're ready, we're gonna come up into a standing position, turn sideways, and bring our chair in front of us on the mat. I've got the back of the chair facing me. I'm gonna bring my block with me and just set it in the chair so I don't have to go looking for it later. I wanna make sure that the feet of the chair are on the mat so that the chair doesn't slide forward away from me, okay? I'm gonna take the hands as wide as I can and start to walk backwards, finding this long stretch here. You can reach the hands forward, you can hold, you can even bring your hands to the seat to get more of a down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, as opposed to a forward fold. Feet are at least hip width, wider is okay. Toes pointed forward, and really lean those hips back. You can bring the ears between the biceps. You can lean the hips side to side. You can bend one knee and then the other. And when you're ready, slowly start to walk forward, taking the hands back up to the back of the chair and coming upright. Once we are all the way back up to the back of the chair, I'm going to take my block, lowest height, and set it in front of my left foot. I'm gonna step behind it and I'm gonna find my mountain pose, my Tadasana, for standing. So feet are about hip width, basically parallel. I have a gentle bend in the knees. We never wanna lock out any joints in yoga, so a little bend or more. If I'm flaring the tailbone back, I'm gonna tuck it forward or navel up and in, same. Roll the shoulders down, let the hands hang, and reach the crown of the head up. Look for equal weight, front to back, left to right on both feet. Feel for all 3 points of contact. Big toe ball mound, pinky toe ball mound, heel, both feet. If you're feeling pretty steady, you can close your eyes here and really start to connect with your feet. I'll notice if I'm standing more on the left or forward once I close my eyes. When you're ready, big breath in, open the eyes, and I'm gonna step left foot onto the block. It is very important that we have a bend in this left knee. If I'm so far forward that the left leg is straight, scooch closer to your block. The right foot is down, left foot is on the block, knee is bent. The reason we have a chair here is for balance. If you want to lean forward and you need to hold on to the chair, you've got it, it's right there. I'm gonna start with a big breath in, and on the exhale, I'm gonna shift forward. I'm shifting my weight forward into this left foot, keeping the knee bent. This left knee, the front knee, will never be straight in this movement. I'm gonna press my left foot down like I'm trying to smush my block, and I'm gonna start to lift the right heel. I'm pausing here. The ball of the foot and the toes are still down. Left leg is doing most of the work. And then shift back. Big breath in. Exhale forward. Inhale. Exhale. I'm going to do a few more of these. Press that left foot down. One more. Big breath out on the exhale. Shift forward. Lift that right heel. Coming back down, you're welcome to continue with that movement if that feels safest, especially if we're feeling unbalanced today. If you'd like, I'm gonna take these movements up in challenge just a little bit. We'll do 2 more types of movements a few times each. Same starting position. Right foot is on the floor, left foot is on the block, left knee will stay bent. Big breath out on the exhale. I'm gonna shift forward. I got more weight in the left leg. Lift the right heel. maybe come up onto the tippy toe. Notice the left leg is still bent. I have muscles doing the work here. I am not locked out. Left knee is bent. And down. Big breath in. Exhale, forward. Lift. Last one. Come on back down. This will be our third movement here. Same starting position. My feet haven't moved. Big breath in on the exhale, shift forward. Left leg takes on more weight. Muscles are coming on. I lift the right heel. Maybe I stop here. Maybe I stop on the big toe. Left knee stays bent. Maybe I lift. You can use the chair for balance, and you can play with inhaling forward, flex, exhale, back point. We'll only do 3 of these. And down. Awesome, good job guys. We're gonna switch sides and do that exact same set with the right foot on the block. So I'm going to scooch the block in front of the right foot. I'm going to start standing in my Tadasana. Feet are parallel. I might need to check in with the feet. Okay. Bend in the knees. Tuck the tailbone forward. Navel up and in. Roll the shoulders down. Reach the head up. Eyes open or closed. Yogi's choice. Feel for your feet. Feel for your foundation. When you're ready, left foot is going to stay. This will be my anchor foot, my back foot, and I'm going to step the right foot forward. Again, I want a bend in that right knee. If it's straight, scooch up closer to the block so that this right knee stays bent. If you want to be closer to the chair so you can hold the chair, that's fine too. Big breath in. On the exhale, right knee is bent. I'm shifting a little more weight forward so I can lift that back left heel. Press the right foot down like you're trying to smash your block. Big breath in, exhale. Five, 6. Remember, you can stay there just lifting the heel, or we can keep adding to the challenge. Same exact start. Left foot down, right knee bent, right foot on the block. Big breath in. Exhale, shift forward, lift the left heel. Maybe we come up onto the tippy toe. We've got more work happening in this right leg. Stabilizers are on, quadriceps are working. And back. Big breath in. Exhale. Calves are working. It's all about that little pause too, when we have the weight in the right leg and we're lifting either the heel or the heel and the ball of the foot. That little pause lets these right muscles work. When you're ready, if you're ready, lifting the left foot. Big breath in as we exhale, forward and flex. Right knee stays bent. Point, inhale, exhale. One more. And down. Awesome. All right, we're gonna step off of the block. Since we've already got it on the right side, I'm gonna push the block forward until it touches the back leg of the chair. And this will be a calf muscle stretch. Use the chair if you want. I'm gonna start behind the block just like we did before and step the right heel forward, toes are up. I have most of the weight in the back left leg. I'm gonna square up the hips. Big breath in, and on the exhale, I'm shifting forward and right to stretch the right calf. If this is intense, you can always come out of it, take a little break. Big breath in. On the exhale, come back in. Shifting back, we step off of the block and we'll switch sides. Block to the left side, all the way up against the chair so it doesn't move. Starting behind the block, step the left heel forward. My weight is in the back right leg. My hips are also turned just a little to the right. Big breath in, I'm gonna square up. Exhale, shift forward and left. Wonderful. Shifting back, we'll step off the block. We can move the block out of the way. I'm going to turn my chair so that the back of the chair is facing me, but I am sideways on the mat, and this keeps my feet from slipping on the floor. I'm going to take a wide stance. That means at least shoulder width. Wider is fine. I'm going to take a moment and turn the toes slightly out, and then I'm going to check each side. I want to make sure that the center of my kneecap is lined up over the middle of my foot. I don't want any twisting between my foot and my knee. And I adjust both sides, and they may not be exactly even to each other. That's fine, as long as the center of the knee is lined up over the center of the foot. Use the chair for balance if you'd like, or you can hover the hands over the chair, or even take your hands to your hips. I'm going to start by tucking the tailbone forward, turning on my glutes. Glutes are tight. You can feel they're tight. Keeping the shoulders over the hips. I want to try not to hinge forward with the hips back, but keep shoulders over the hips. Big breath in, glutes are on. As we exhale, imagine you dropped on a floor in the elevator. We're bending the knees. Knees should be over the ankles. If when you bend it looks like this, the knees are not supported, come on up and widen your stance. Inhale, come up. Exhale, squat. Tuck the tailbone forward, shoulders over the hips. Inhale. 3, 4, 8, 9, last one, 10. Hold here. Gentle pulsing. 10, 9, 8, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on up. Beautiful. Taking the hands to the chair. We can walk or step those feet back in. We can turn the chair forward on the mat. We're going to do a little bit of seated work here and then come back down onto the floor. We'll just take a rest, catch our breath. Enjoy sitting. All right. Lower body is pretty warmed up, I think, at this point. We'll do some chair jumping jacks just to get everything coordinated, everything moving, everything warm, okay? So I'm gonna start with the feet on the floor and my arms by my sides. I'm sitting in a chair. This is low impact to no impact. We are not standing. On the inhale, feet separate and arms come up. They can stay in line with the shoulders or come up into a V depending on what feels better on your shoulders. Exhale, closed. Inhale. Exhale. Fill all the way up. Empty out as you close. We'll do 10 of these. take a break. Beautiful. You guys feeling warm yet? I especially like to do a little bit more of the aerobic movements in the winter because it tends to be cold. We're out in West Texas here, and keeping the muscles warm and getting the blood moving and just getting a little more movement is good seasonally right now for us. Okay. All right. We're gonna practice getting in and out of the chair, just up and down with a little bit of a twist. So I know you guys have heard me say this in class, in person, but particularly lately in this chapter of life, my movements have looked a little different than they usually do, and certainly a little different from optimal, right? So if I were to turn sideways to show you guys how I usually get out of a chair, I kind of hinge forward, press my hands into my thighs, and use my upper body to kind of push myself up. While that is fine, because I do get up out of the chair, which is the goal, I'm not utilizing the strength of my lower body or the stability of my lower body, which really is a missed opportunity here. So if I were to be a little more conscious about my movement, I might sit up tall, maybe even bring my arms up, and on the exhale, press through the feet and come up, squeezing the glutes and using that power of my legs to come up. So a real big difference between that movement and that movement, which is a lot stronger, a lot more powerful, and utilizes more of the muscles. So again, everybody is different, everybody's movement patterns are different, but let's try really using the lower body, the quads, the glutes, a little bit of the core, being conscious of the feet to get up out of the chair. I like to cheat a little and use a little bit of momentum from the arms. It also helps me synchronize breath. So I'm gonna take the hands forward. Big breath in, fill all the way up. On the exhale, come up, inhale down. Exhale, press through the feet. 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Beautiful. We'll stay standing. We're gonna move the chair out of the way and come all the way down into a seat on our mat. You can use the chair to help. If getting down onto the floor is not gonna work for you today, have a seat in your chair. But you can take the hands to the chair, bring the knees down first, and then come on down to the floor. If you'd like to sit on a blanket, we have a blanket here. It elevates the hips a little bit and just gives you a little extra cushion. Give you some time to get situated. Come on down. If cross-legged will work for you today, take the right leg in front. If that does not feel good on the knees, you can try a butterfly, feet together, knees wide, or even a straddle, just legs out. See what works for you, see what feels good, and start to kind of settle in to your seated shape. When you're ready, we'll find our block, and I'm gonna take it onto medium height this time and set it next to my hip on the left side. Right leg is in front, block is on the left. Press the hands into the thighs. The idea here is not to force the knees down, but to press length into the upper body. You might be able to do that on the thighs. If you have real long arms, you might bring your hands to the floor. That's not a problem I have. I can't reach the floor unless I bend over. But if you have longer arms than me, feel free to press into the floor to find that same length in the upper body. And once you have a nice long spine here, big breath in on the exhale, we're gonna bend the left elbow and lean left. You have some options. You can take the elbow to the leg, your hand to the floor, or bring your arm down onto this block to get off of your wrist. If the right hip lifts at all, find the right hand, press the thigh down away from the shoulder, away from the hip. We're looking for a stretch on the right side, on the side, and then also on the low back. So I press my right hand into my right leg as I lean left and I breathe into this space on the right side. Imagine you have a little weight, bag of sugar, bag of flour, something on your right knee. Keep that right leg heavy as you lean left. When you're ready, float the right arm up and over. One option is to extend the arm. Another option would be to bend the elbow, bring the fingers behind the ear. But if we're rounding forward here in either, roll the right shoulder, right elbow back, and look up past the right elbow. Keep that right leg heavy. Press the elbow up. Really get into that side. Bring the right hand forward, right hand to the right knee, left hand to the left knee. Exhale, rounding back. We're doing seated clockwise circles. And come on back to center. Beautiful. Since we have the right leg in front, I'm going to go ahead and extend it forward. I'm going to move my left foot out of the way a little bit so that it's not under the leg. Flexing the right foot. If you have a strap, you can use a strap around the ball of the foot here, or we'll just flex the foot, knee and toes stay up, pointing upright. Make sure we're not locking out that right leg. If we are, you can sneak that left foot back under, or maybe even take your blanket or your block and just wedge something so that the back of the knee is not pressing down to the floor, okay? Flexing the right foot, sit up tall, square up your hips forward. Keep the hands by your sides or on the floor. Big breath in on the exhale, hinge forward. We're looking for a stretch in the back of the right leg. Slowly come on back up. We're going to switch the cross on the legs or come back to your symmetrical shape, butterfly, whatever works for sitting. I'm going to take the left leg in front. I'm in cross-legged position today. I'm going to take the block to the right side. And again, we're just going to have a few moments to settle in here and let the body adjust to this position. Have a few breaths. When you're ready, bring the hands down and press to lengthen the upper body, either thighs or floor. We get nice and tall, fill all the way up. On the exhale, we bend the right elbow. You can take elbow to leg, hand to the floor, or bring your elbow onto that block on medium. If you notice this left hip is lifting, take your hand to the left thigh and gently coax it down, away from the shoulder, away from the hip, to start to really get into the side here. We may be feeling a stretch on the side. We may be feeling it on the low back on the left, like kind of back of the left hip. They're both great. Breathe here. When you're ready, left arm floats up and over, extended or bent at the elbow. Fingers behind the ear, roll the shoulder and the elbow back, look up past the left elbow. Left hip stays heavy. Imagine you have a little weight on that left leg. Left hand comes around, finds the left knee, right hand to right knee, counterclockwise, seated circles. There's the train. And when you're ready, come back to center. We're going to take the left leg forward for that stretch. Move the right foot out of the way, unless you're using it to prop the left knee up to keep it from hyperextending. I'm gonna flex the left foot, square up the hips. Left knee and left toes are pointed up. I'm being really careful not to internally or externally rotate, but knee and toes up. Big breath in, keeping my hands by my sides. On the exhale, I'm gonna hinge forward. The reason I don't like to reach forward is because sometimes it causes this rounding in the upper back. If you're using a strap, imagine hinging from the hips and keep your elbows by your sides instead of reaching forward, okay? Slowly coming back up. I'm gonna move my block out of the way. I'm gonna turn sideways so you guys can see this from a different angle, but you're fine where you are. I'm gonna take the feet mat width. I'm gonna take my knuckles to the floor behind me. Thumbs are pointing towards my back. You can stay on your blanket if you want. I've got the feet mat width. Big breath in on the exhale, let both knees fall left. I'm looking for a stretch in the right quadricep here. If you don't feel it, bring the heel closer in towards your back right jean pocket. Try to keep your shoulders square forward. You can also kick that right foot to the right a little more. And again, we're looking for a stretch here on the right side from the hip to the knee on the top of the thigh. I'm gonna move my right foot back to where I started. Inhale back to center. Adjust if you need to. Big breath in, exhale, both knees fall right. So again, we're looking for the stretch on the left leg now. If you need more, you can bring the left heel closer to your left glute or out to the left a little further. Squaring up the shoulders over the short edge of the mat. Bring that left foot back to about where we started. Inhale back to center. And I'm gonna come off of my blanket. From here, I'm gonna make my way onto my back. And if you need a pillow or a blanket underneath you, that is fine. Go ahead and get set up. Again, if you're not on the floor, you can stay in your chair and maybe cover a blanket over your legs or get a pillow behind you just to get a little more comfortable. We are gonna do maybe one more thing and then get ready for Shavasana. So carefully, we're gonna roll onto our backs. I'm gonna take the feet mat width or wider than the chair if we're in the chair, and then let the knees fall in towards each other. This internal rotation in the hips will release the low back. You can do whatever you want with the arms, and we'll just breathe here for a few moments. Feels good to kind of windshield wiper the legs left and right, keeping the feet wide. One more opportunity to get into the hips and the knees, maybe the quads a little bit, maybe the low back. And when you feel ready, we'll come back to center and make our way into our final resting shape, Shavasana. You're welcome to keep the feet on the floor with the knees bent, knees can fall in. You could try butterfly, feet together, knees wide. You can take the legs out long. You can even take a half legs up the wall, which is a very supported inversion using your chair. I'll demonstrate that one. We want to put the chair with the seat facing towards your body on the mat, and we're gonna scooch all the way up to the very edge of the chair and take the knees, calves, and feet up onto the chair. It's really important that the knees are supported. If we're too far out, it makes the knees lock out. So scooch all the way up and then slowly come back down onto your backs. You can thread the feet through. The feet can fall in or out, whatever feels best for you. as you settle in, make any little adjustments here. We're looking for the most amount of comfort and relaxation for the least amount of effort. So any pose that you don't have to work hard to hold, okay? When you're ready, I invite you to close the eyes. Have a deep breath in and out. With your next breath in, imagine filling up from the soles of the feet to the ankles, to the knees, to the hips, all the way up the spine, past the belly and heart, to the very crown of the head, like a balloon, all the way full, big at the edges. As we exhale, and with every exhale, imagine releasing air from that body balloon and just kind of softening, sinking, settling into your Shavasana. Relaxing any tightness from the scalp and the forehead. Softening at the corners of the eyes. Relaxing the ears and the jaw. Releasing the shoulders, heavy past the arms, through the elbows to the hands and fingers. Imagine unrolling vertebrae by vertebrae down the spine, one by one like dominoes, falling into your perfect neutral. Heavy through the hips and the tailbone, through the legs, the knees, the calves, the heels, and the toes. Keeping your eyes closed, slowly begin to bring awareness back to your breath, breathing in and out through the nose, and just feeling that rise and fall of breath in the body. When you're ready, you might start wiggling the fingers or the toes, the wrists or the ankles. You might draw some circles or point and flex. You might reach the arms or the legs long. Have a big full body stretch. And when you're ready, bend the knees, bring the feet to the floor, roll gently onto your right side, and we'll pause here for just a moment. When you feel ready, carefully press yourself back upright, being mindful if you have a chair. Maybe we're using the chair to help us get up. And we'll just have a seat. We want to get up really slowly, so that's why we lay on our side for a minute and then we sit up for a minute before we try to stand, okay? Having a few breaths seated. Noticing how we feel, checking back in with the body and the breath. Friends, it is my honor and my pleasure to share practice with you, even virtually. Thank you so much for keeping up with your practice. Thank you for holding space for each other, yourselves, and me. I will see you so soon. Take care.